Hello there and welcome to Dateline Lagos. I'm Loretta Chiogo. On the program today, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo wants the diversification of the economy, blames poor economy on corrupt government officials. Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Idiat Adebule, issues provisional approval letters to qualified proprietors of private schools, warns against compromise, and technocrats meet in Karamo Conference Series in Lagos, advocate human capacity development, say it is important for job creation. Please let's warn that some of the visuals you're about to watch contain flash photography. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is calling for the diversification of the nation's economy away from oil for it to survive the current downturn, while Professor Osinbajo, while making the appeal during an economic summit organized by the nation's newspaper, proposes a better alternative in agriculture. Also, the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, during his address at the gathering, blames the economic woes of the country on past government officials, which he says did not save for the rainy day. Watch this.
With the fall in oil prices, which has led to severe dollar scarcity, high inflation and low government revenues, Nigeria's economy is definitely not at its best moment. The government is aware of it, and the reason for this economic summit in Lagos having in attendance Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Lagos State Governor Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, his Imo State counterpart Mr. Rochas Okorocha, and a representative of the Ogun State Governor. Governor Ambode opens up on the cause of the present state of the economy.
Nigeria's economy remains largely undiversified, with crude oil sales accounting for over 90% of total revenue. As a result, our economy is always vulnerable to volatilities in the international oil market, coupled with the impact of many years of corruption and wastages. This is the reason for our present economic nightmare. It is very unfortunate that we wasted the golden opportunity to deploy the trillions of dollars earned from our oil exports to develop the critical sectors of the economy, including power, agriculture, industries, solid minerals, transportation infrastructure, among others.
To Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha, the problem of Nigeria economy is not the fall in the price of oil.
So the problem of Nigeria's economy is not the fall in oil price. The problem of Nigeria's economy is that this economy is a big-headed economy. The head is too big and too fat, with a bulging small tummy and with a feeble leg. The head is the federal government, the small tummy is the state government, and the tiny legs are the local government. So every time you see our economy, it's working in a kwashiorkor manner.
Having known the challenge, the cause and its effect, Governor Ambode knows that confronting the challenge will not be very easy.
No doubt, if we had done the right thing as some other oil-producing countries did, keeping in mind that crude oil is a finite resource, we will not be experiencing the devastating effect of oil price crash on the scale we are experiencing it now. We are now being forced to do with pains what we should have done with ease years ago. The task of charting a new direction for the economy is not going to be a tea party.
Solving the problem of a bad economy, Professor Osinbajo wants attention shifted from oil.
We must also look beyond oil because it distorts priorities. Having an easy source of revenue has denied Nigeria the opportunity to engage in the critical thinking and prioritization that usually drives development. In our case, by lacking fiscal pressures, Nigeria has succeeded in wading through the 40 years of boom and bust without addressing fundamental structural issues. In order to move forward, we must reduce current dependence of the federal and state governments on the ritual sharing of revenues earned from oil.
Much more, the Vice President lists the 6 thematic strategies already in place.
The federal government will be focused on implementing about 33 priority actions under the 6 themes in the 2016 fiscal year in the following strategic areas: The first strategic area is in the area of policy, national security, and governance. Secondly, increased low interest lending to the real sector. And so the plan is to move towards a single-digit interest rate. 3, minimum capital spending in the budget. We're looking at a minimum of 30% capital spending. This is the highest in the past almost 12 years.
To Mr. Ambode, the way forward is exploring and expanding interstate relations.
One way to revive our economy would be to explore and expand interstate relations, strengthen regional competitiveness by maximizing economies of scale, regional optimization of assets and endowments, and mitigation of afflictions and natural disasters. Other potential areas for interstate collaboration include transport infrastructure to facilitate market linkages, education, market development, human capacity building, security, and intelligence sharing, among others.
Mr. Ambode seems proud of its partnership with Kebbi State on rice production.
Lagos and Kebbi State signed an MOU a few weeks ago. Kebbi State is one of the largest producers of rice in Nigeria, while Lagos State, the most populous state in Africa, consumes rice, mostly imported rice, worth $135 billion annually. With this partnership, which covers food production, processing, and distribution, Lagos State and Kebbi State have taken steps to explore our areas of comparative advantages to achieve food security for Nigeria and save our foreign exchange.
Lagos State investment spans across states and regions of the country.
Prior to the agreement with Kebbi State, Lagos had already collaborated with states from within the Western region in the areas of comparative advantage for partner states. We currently have 84 hectares of land in Osogbo, Osun State, out of which 20 hectares is used for palm produce, while others are used for rice farming, cassava, and maize. Lagos State also acquired additional 1,000 hectares of land in Osun, 500 hectares in Ogun and Oyo each, and 50 hectares in Abuja to support farming. In addition, all grinders used in construction in Lagos State are being sourced from quarries located in Ogun State.
Professor Osinbajo reels out plan of the federal government in helping the economy through agriculture.
In order to diversify, especially in the area of agriculture, we're planning to achieve self-sufficiency and in some cases become net exporters of certain agricultural items. For example, we're looking at being self-sustaining in rice production by the year 2018, in tomato paste by the year 2017, wheat we're looking at towards 2019. Now, these are important areas for us, and of course, it's such exciting news to hear about the collaboration between Lagos and Kebbi State in rice production. It's a very important collaboration, and of course, I'm sure many of us are aware that there are about 12 states in Nigeria that have been mandated to produce, rice, especially as part of the effort to make Nigeria self-sustaining by 2018.
But for the interstate trade to work well, Governor Ambode advocates good rail and water transport network.
It must, however, be noted that for regional or interstate cooperation to yield the desired result in terms of enhanced inclusive growth, we must put in place a functional modern rail and water transportation system. The movement of goods, materials, and people by road is not only inefficient, but fraught with risk, safety hazards, and detrimental to our roads. The Lagos-Kebbi initiative, for example, will involve movement of thousands of tons of paddy rice to Lagos for processing in our mills. This can only be achieved more efficiently through a modern rail system, which at present remains largely undeveloped.
Professor Osinbajo identifies fight against corruption as another way forward.
The fight against corruption is existential. If we don't deal with corruption, just as President Buhari has said, corruption will deal with us. If we don't kill it, it will kill us. If you look at the sheer amount of resources that individuals in this country have pocketed, it's what accounts for where we are today. If some individuals, if some individuals can make away with $3 billion US, in just one sector. Another sector, some people make away with another $4 billion US. Keep in mind that our entire external reserves today stands at $27 billion US. If individuals can make away with half of that, we really cannot begin to talk of an economy. Those individuals must not only be made to account, but in the future, it must be made clear that it will not be acceptable, will not be tolerated. And that is the reason why we must all, and that's the reason why we mustn't see this as a fight that the government, the federal government is for. No, it's an existential fight. It's a fight for every one of us. It's a fight for the future of our nation.
Mr. Okorocha also suggests ways of saving the economy.
There's need quickly, and I advise, for the federal government to devolve power and decentralize. If you take that part of the head, big of a large head, add it to the bit to the stomach and to the waist, it will look like a very beautiful woman. And everybody wants to marry your economy, but nobody will marry a woman looking like a kwashoko.
After all said and done, the conversion of all the deliberation to improve the standard of living of an average Nigerian is one way to make it different from other talks in the past.